fulfill their responsibilities effectively, cater for more people, something that will contribute in collection of revenues and increase the speed of conservation in the country.
Lakini pia litasaidia kuongeza kasi katika usimamizi wa uhifadhi wa mazingira nchini.
The first construction phase of increasing the depth of Tanga Port has been completed. Once completed, the port will have the capacity to dock 2 vessels carrying cargo weighing 35,000 tons, up from the current 1,200 tons.
We're expecting this port to have the capacity of handling 2 ships weighing 31,000 tons at a go. It will indeed be a modern port. So far, drilling stage is complete. Right now, we are on procurement of equipment, which will go hand in hand with construction of the ghat.
Kukamilisha taratibu zote za upembuzi, tenda itatangazwa ili tuweze kumpata mkandarasi kwa ajili ya.
The tender will be announced for construction of the modern ghat, which has 500 meters.
Hapa kulikuwa ni mita 3 tu.
The police force in Morogoro has urged the Ministry of Health to supply them with coronavirus preventative kits so that they can conduct their responsibilities more effectively against the coronavirus outbreak.
We have been using normal thermometers, but today I have heard that the equipment is easily available. Now, as police officers, our working environments are difficult. If that equipment is easily found, then we are ready to buy even today. These viruses have favorable areas they like. A virus which is transmitted through air cannot attack skin or intestines simply because once they enter into someone's body, they use certain cells. That is why we say people should not touch eyes, nose, mouth or ears because they all have connection with breathing system.
That's all for the national news. International news is next. In international news, the number of coronavirus cases in Kenya has risen to 234 after 9 more patients tested positive for COVID-19 in the country. Addressing the nation from State House Thursday, President Uhuru Kenyatta said 1 more patient had succumbed to the virus, raising the total number of deaths to 11. He said the 9 new patients who have tested positive are aged between 2 and 64 years old.
Government, and on the advice of medical and public health experts, we moved quickly to implement a comprehensive plan designed to limit individual exposure to the virus and its spread within our communities. We recognized profound need for prompt action, observing the exponential nature of the pandemic's transmission that had been recorded in other countries across the world. Kenyans are showing that they can invent, innovate, and respond rapidly to a major challenge that has not known its equal for many, many decades. Knowing our character is so key to building our confidence that we have in us to solve even more challenges that face our people. We are learning today anew that we are a country of empathy and compassion. In every corner of our country, companies, families, neighborhoods are reaching out to those most affected economically by this crisis.
Uganda has started to move prisoners from congested prisons in order to avoid the spreading of the coronavirus. This move comes 1 month after the prison department banned relatives from visiting prisoners until the virus has been controlled.
Due to the inflow, the administration of Uganda Prison Service, those who are in Chibok women prison were evacuated to Luzira.
Citizens in Burundi have been directed to go to health centers whenever they see symptoms of the coronavirus, as the Ministry of Health has ensured health experts are deployed at all health centers to deal with the virus.
In all health sector zones in the country, we have put in place teams that have received training, and they are closely monitoring patients to determine if he has the virus. We had asked all individuals with cough to try to protect others as asked.
In the past 24 hours, Rwanda has not reported any cases of coronavirus, with the government saying 5 people have recovered, bringing the number of patients who have recovered from the virus to 54 out of 136 who got infected with the coronavirus.
On the 19th, the President and government of Rwanda will hold the lockdown, and things will be good for the public.
That's where we leave off with international news. We'll be back with business news after this short break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. A team of experts from Tropical Pesticides Research Institute, Tanzania Agriculture Research Institute, and Tanzania Cashew Nut Board has met with cashew nut farmers in Tandahimba in Twara region to assess the effects of fake pesticides, which farmers say have been contributed to by inputs distributors who sell fake pesticides.
There were some cashew nut seedlings in farms where farmers claimed to have used pesticides that burnt their cashew seedlings, so we found it best to come along with distributors as well as agriculture and meet with them.
Wasambazaji, maafisa kilimo.
Kwa hiyo kupitia changamoto hizi za mwaka jana ambazo zijitokeza.
Through last year's challenges, the Cashew Nut Board, TPRI, TARI, and Mbele will be able to set strategies on how we are going to oversee distribution of pesticides next season.
And Lindi District Council is taking various measures against the coronavirus, which include cordoning areas at the Ferry Fish Market in order to prevent congestion of people.
We made an unanimous decision to temporarily move the market until this disease ends and bring it here. The auction area has also been moved from there to here, and people are comfortable in keeping half or 1 meter distance between each other.
au nusu mita inapatikana kwa mtu na mtu.
Jambo la kwanza kabla tujasimama mnadani tunanawa mikono.
The first thing we do when we get here is wash our hands, avoid touching each other, and we educate others who come and do not know what to do.
Tunajitahidi hivyo kuambiana, kulazimishana.
That's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lend.
And in sports news, Tanzania Football Federation TFF has confirmed Simba SC reported their rivals Young Africans for holding talks to sign their player Clatous Chama without their consent. Here is the story.
In a signed statement sent by Goal, Simba have requested the federation to take stern action against Yanga, in which the TFF vote to investigate the matter at hand. We have received a complaint from Simba following the statement made by Yanga official Frederick Makalabela that they have held talks to sign Clatous Chama from Simba while he has a running contract with them, the statement from TFF stated. The statement from the TFF comes just hours after the Zambian player claimed he has a running contract with the club and does not intend to leave anytime soon.
The Tanzania Mainland Premier League will remain suspended after the government extended the ban on sporting activities. Here is more.
By Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa, the government has said the suspension of all sporting activities and events that are of huge public nature will remain intact as part of strengthening preventive measures to avoid the spread of COVID-19. The statement thus means there will be no change to the suspension imposed on all sporting activities almost 30 days ago until further notice. On March 17th, the government through Majaliwa announced the suspension of all sporting activities and events that are of a huge public nature for at least 30 days to monitor the situation.
A commitment to completing the season before the start of July is among the options being considered by Premier League clubs. Here is the story.
Due to meet on Friday in the latest attempt to pick a way through the COVID-19 crisis. A resolution to consign the 2019-2020 campaign to history by 30th of June, whether or not the entire schedule of games has been completed, will be among the proposals put to the league. According to some reports, one of the most significant factors driving the idea to finish by that point, favored by a large number of the league's members, is the expiry of numerous players and staff contracts by the end of June.
The head of McLaren has warned teams will be forced out of Formula One because of the financial impact of COVID-19 if the sport does not take decisive action.
A virtual meeting on Thursday discussed lowering the budget cap, and Andrea Seidel demanded they must act on what he called the final wake-up call for Formula One. The opening 9 races have been called off and Formula One is facing a major financial shortfall. The budget cap set to be imposed next year was $175 million. The teams have already agreed to cut it to $150 million, but Seidel believes it must be slashed to $100 million to ensure long-term sustainability and more competitive racing.
The Tour de France has been officially postponed to 29th August owing to the COVID-19 pandemic and will finish on the 20th of September, the organizer Amaury Sports Organization confirmed. Here's more.
The centerpiece of the cycling calendar will involve a delicate juggling act with the other two grand tours, the Vuelta a España and the World Road Championships, and the 5 Monument of One Day Classic also all jostling for space at the end of the season, when it is hoped that major sports events in Europe will resume. The news was greeted with delight by the 4-times champion Chris Froome, who confirmed this week that he has largely recovered from the accident that cost him a ride in the 2019 race. The news many of us have been waiting for, he said through Twitter.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, I am Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and good night.
Hello and welcome. This is Capture. Just give us 1 hour and we'll make you updated in all the trended stories, actually the hottest stories of the week ambazo pengine ulipata kuzisikia ama kutosikia. Basi hapa ni sehemu maalum ambayo unaweza ukapata kujua exactly story gani zilikuwa kubwa sana wiki hii. Happy Easter everybody. Leo ni siku nzuri, siku kubwa. Bahati nzuri, it was raining in Dar es Salaam. Sijui niseme bahati nzuri, sijui niseme bahati mbaya. It has been raining. Now, personally, I was just indoors because there's nothing I can say about my day. But today in this episode, utakuwa na mimi Khadija Zimbwe, Twali B na Vanessa Victor, giving you guys